Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Reeby, Principal of Vanderveer Elementary School.
And I'm Dr. Tian, Superintendent of Schools.
We are so excited to welcome everyone to our Vanderveer Evening Learning Academy.
You are all in for weeks and weeks of enjoyment.
You will be learning alongside your very own Vanderveer teachers.
Also, we have teachers and administrators from across the district that will be bringing you fun learning experiences.
You will become scientists, engineers, mathematicians, writers, world explorers, and learn to communicate in different languages as you explore concepts in math, reading, writing, science, social studies, world language, and so many more.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we encourage you to visit often and view other lessons in our learning library as we add to the videos each week. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. Assad and I teach kindergarten at Vanderveer. Some of you might already know me, but for those of you who don't, here are 4 quick facts about me. 1, I love the color green. 2, I love riding my bike, especially with my really cute but really crazy dog, Scout. 3, I love eating sushi. And 4, I love sea turtles. I think they are so fascinating. Now, I want to see if you can help me figure out what we're learning about today. Take a look. We have a shark, an elephant, a human, and a snake. Now, what do all 4 of these things have in common? What are the same about them? What do they all have? They all have legs. No, they don't all have legs. Yeah, definitely not. No legs on the shark, no legs on the snake. They all have hair. No, they don't all have hair. Well, yeah, you're right. They all have a head, okay? And they all have something inside of their head, a special organ. Did you say brain? If you said brain, you are so right. All 4 of those things have a brain. Here's a model of the brain. Pretty cool, right? This leads me to today's lesson. Our lesson today is called The Brain is Boss. Now, you know boss means in charge, right? Boss is in charge. So the brain is in charge, but also boss can mean super cool. So the brain is in charge and also it's awesome and super cool. But today we are going to learn about one of the most important parts of our body, our brain. We are going to learn about what our brain does and the parts of our brain. So later in the lesson at the end, you're going to need a piece of paper and some coloring supplies if you have them. If you don't, it's no big deal. All right, let's get to it. So where is my brain? Your brain is in your skull, and your skull is right here in your head. If you tap your head lightly, you can feel it's kind of hard. That's your skull. That's your bone. Inside your skull is your brain. Can you point to your own brain? Here? No. Here? No. You're right. It's here. It's in here. So what does my brain do? Now, you need your brain for lots of important things. Let me show you a few. You need your brain to run. You need your brain to eat. You need your brain to sleep. You also need your brain for feeling emotions, like feeling happy, feeling sad, feeling surprised. What else do you think you need your brain for? I heard someone say thinking. Definitely. Playing sports, oh yes. Problem solving, ooh. Good one. Yes, exactly. All those things. So, how does my brain do all of that? You may be thinking, well, my brain is up here, and all the things we just talked about were things that I do with my body, right? Your brain actually sends messages all over your body. Just like when you receive a message, an email, a letter in the mail. As you can see in this picture, the brain up at the top is connected to your spinal cord, which runs down the center of your body. Branching off your spinal cord are your nerves, which reach out to the rest of your body, like your arms, your fingers, your legs, your toes, all over. So messages from your brain travel this way through your spinal cord and to the part of the body where it needs to go. Here's another way to think about it. Have you ever been on a train? Let's take a look at this NJ Transit train map. Do you see all the colorful lines that go throughout our state, New Jersey? Those are the train tracks or lines that trains travel on. Now, just like trains carry people inside to all different parts of the state, nerves carry messages to all different parts of the body. Here are two real-life examples of how messages move in our body. Let's pretend we're playing ball together, okay? So my brain is telling me I want to catch the ball, but that message has to go to my hands, which is the part of the body that's actually going to catch the ball. So can you throw me the ball? Very nice. So my brain told my hands to catch the ball. Now another example of this is that our body actually sends messages to our brain. So it goes the other way as well. And we do that through our five senses. So for example, I might be holding some snow, right? Now, my hand is holding the snow and it's sending a message to my brain, and my brain is saying, what do you think my brain is saying? Yeah, my brain is saying, brr, that's cold. Let's see if we can test out our brain and the messages it sends. Let's do a brain break. Stand up and find some space around you. Okay, let's test out our brain. Remember that your brain sends messages all over your body. It tells your body what to do. It's the, did you say banana? Okay, your brain is definitely not the banana. Oh, sorry. No, you said boss. Yes, your brain is the boss. So let's play Brain Says. It's like Simon Says, but our brain is saying, all right, ready? Brain says, touch your nose. Brain says, shake your head. Touch your shoulders. Brain didn't say. All right, brain says, clap your hands. Brain says, jump up and down. Touch your feet. Brain didn't say. Nice job. All right, brain says, stomp your feet. Brain says, sit down. Brain says, touch your head. Touch your stomach. Oh, brain didn't say. Brain says, spin around. Stop. Brain didn't say. Brain says, stop. Oh, all right. Wow, your brain is awesome. Seems like your brain really is the boss. Your body did everything your brain told it to do. Nice work. Now, I know what you're thinking. The brain looks weird. It's grayish pink, it's wrinkly and kind of small. How can that thing be the boss? So yeah, I've thought the same thing, but if we take a peek inside the brain, I think you'll change your mind. What are the parts of the brain? Now, the brain has two hemispheres or sides. Let's open up the brain a little bit so we can get a better idea of the different parts of the brain. The brain has 4 sections, and those sections are called lobes. Each lobe has a very important job. First, let's talk about the temporal lobe. If you put your fingers right here on your temples, that's about where your temporal lobe is located. The temporal lobe allows us to hear sounds. It's the lobe that you are using right now to hear my voice on this video. Now, let's see how your temporal lobe is doing. I'm going to play a few sounds, and I want you to see if your temporal lobe can identify what those sounds are. You ready? First sound. It's a dog barking. Good job. Next sound. It's a car beeping. Wow, your temporal lobe is really sharp. All right, last one's kind of tricky. People clapping and cheering. Wow, your temporal lobe is amazing. Now, the temporal lobe is also important to us when we need to remember things, our memory. The occipital lobe is located towards the back of your brain. The occipital lobe helps us with our vision. Our eyes send information here so we can understand what we're seeing. Just like you are seeing me in this video, and you're able to recognize, oh, it's Mrs. Assad. Now let's see how your occipital lobe is doing. I'm going to quickly show you some pictures, and I want you to yell out what you see. First picture, here we go. Go! Yes! A cake. Next picture, go! A tree. All right, last one. A cat. You are so right. Wow, your occipital lobe is in tip-top shape. Next, we're going to talk about our frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is right in the front of your brain, right here behind your forehead. And this is where we make decisions, where we plan, where we pay attention, where we feel emotions, and so much more. I like to call the frontal lobe the superhero lobe because it is our problem-solving center. And if you're like me, I usually come across problems every day. Little problems, medium problems, big problems. So I am so thankful for this awesome frontal lobe that I have. The last lobe we're going to talk about is called the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe allows us to experience touch, pain, and temperature. It also helps us figure out how our body is positioned, whether we're standing, whether we're sitting, whether we're laying down. Don't forget that all four lobes communicate or talk to each other constantly. Let me show you an example. My temporal lobe helps me hear my friend when she calls me. Hello?
Hi, Mrs. Assad. It's Miss Agnello. I'm right outside. Let's go play.
My occipital lobe helps me see my friend when she's waiting outside with a ball. My frontal lobe helps me make the decision to go outside and play with her. Now, there are two more important parts of our brain. The first important part is called the brainstem. It acts like a bridge because it connects our brain to our spinal cord. Now, we know that that's how our brain communicates to our body. Messages are sent down our spinal cord. So this bridge is really important. Now, the brainstem also does some amazing things that we don't even notice. The brainstem does things every day like help our heart pump, tell our lungs to breathe, things we don't even realize it's doing. It's keeping us alive. The last part we're going to talk about is this round part at the bottom, at the base of our brain. It's called the cerebellum. The cerebellum controls our coordination and our balance. Ooh, I think this calls for another brain break. Stand up and find some room around you. Okay, for this brain break, we are going to test out our cerebellum, which controls our coordination and our balance. Let's see how our cerebellum is doing. Before we get started on our balance, I want you to know that balance is something you can practice and improve on. So if you feel like you're gonna fall or you need to put your foot down to catch you, that is okay. I'm still improving my balance as well. So we're gonna start by lifting up one leg. Our hands can be wherever we're comfortable. You ready? Lift up one leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go back to that first leg and we're going to have our hands up. Lift up that leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. super duper duper tricky. Ready? We're gonna close our eyes when we're balancing. You're gonna notice that this is more difficult. Obviously put your foot down if you feel like you're falling. Okay, ready? First leg, close your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, wow. I'm noticing that one leg is more difficult than the other. So let me see if I can do it on this leg. Other leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, okay. Cerebellum, we are now going to test your coordination. So we're gonna do something called a cross crawl. We're going to coordinate our arm and our knee to meet in the middle of our body, but we're gonna do opposites. So make some cactus arms here. Drop one arm. The leg that you're slapping right now, right here, that's the one that's gonna come up and meet this bent elbow. All right, you ready? So let's try it. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. Coordination between your elbow on your one side to your knee on your other side. All right, cactus arms again. Drop your opposite hand that hasn't been dropped yet. This is the leg we're gonna lift up. This is the elbow that's gonna meet it. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow! You have one amazing cerebellum. Don't forget, it is responsible for our balance and our coordination. Great work. Wow. Let's review some of the things we learned today. 1, our brain is in our skull, which is located in our head. 2, we need our brain to do lots of important things like running, eating, sleeping, and feeling emotions. 3, our brains send messages to every part of our body. Our brain also receives messages using our 5 senses. 4, our brain has 4 lobes, each with their own very important functions. Our temporal lobe helps us process sounds. Our occipital lobe helps us understand what we see. Our frontal lobe is the superhero lobe because it is where we problem solve. Here, we also make decisions, plan, pay attention, and feel emotions. Our parietal lobe helps us figure out how our body is positioned. There are 2 more important brain parts. Our cerebellum helps us with coordination and balance, and our brain stem is the bridge that connects our brain to our spinal cord and keeps our heart pumping and our lungs breathing without us even knowing. Lastly, I hope you remember that the brain is boss. It's in charge and it's really cool. It controls most of the functions in the body, even the ones we don't think about. Okay, now we are ready to show what we learned. Today we're going to draw a model of the brain. Making a model is a special strategy that scientists like to use to help them understand something better. The brain model we are going to draw will help us remember all the parts of the brain and their functions. So, if you have it, grab your paper and your coloring materials and let's get drawing. To draw my model, I'm going to begin with my pencil and I'm going to think of the shape as if I was looking at it from the side. So I'm going to start over here near the frontal lobe and I'm going to draw a nice round frontal lobe to underneath the brain where the temporal lobe is, around the back where the occipital lobe is, coming up on the parietal lobe and coming back to where the frontal lobe is. Like a fluffy cloud. Now, I don't want to forget about the very important brainstem, so I'm going to come down here near the temporal lobe, draw a curve and down. And then I'm going to draw the other side of the brainstem as well. Remember, the cerebellum is a round area right near the brainstem, just like that. Now, I want to divide my brain into the 4 lobes. So like I said, the frontal lobe is over here. I'm going to start kind of underneath, come up, and over here. That's my frontal lobe over here. I'm going to draw my superhero here so that I don't forget. It is the frontal lobe. Over here is the parietal lobe. going to come to the bottom of the parietal lobe, do like a little curve, and come up to the top. This is the parietal lobe. This helps us figure out how we're positioned. If we're sitting, standing, laying down. All right, down here is the temporal lobe. I'm going to connect this line over here to the base of the brain. Here is the temporal lobe. This is how we can identify what we're hearing. And the back, this is the occipital lobe. This is how we can make sense of what we're seeing. Down here's the brain stem. Remember, that's the bridge that connects the brain to the rest of the body. And here is the cerebellum. We use that to help us balance. Now, I'm going to use my black marker that I have to outline all my pencil lines. I'm going to write frontal. I'm going to write parietal. I'm going to write temporal. I'm going to write occipital. I'm going to write over here, brain stem. And I'm going to write over here, cerebellum. Now I'm going to use my coloring materials to fill in my sections of the brain. Let's make the frontal lobe yellow. Let's make the parietal lobe green. Let's make the occipital lobe blue. Let's make the temporal lobe red. Let's make the brain stem pink. Let's make the cerebellum purple. Now I want to write something very special at the top of my paper. Maybe you can tell me what it says. Brain. What's that word? Is boss. Boss. Brain is boss. Awesome job. After you are done creating your model, be sure to share your knowledge. Find someone to share it with, then explain all the parts of the brain and their functions. Wow! Awesome work, everyone! I hope you enjoyed learning about your powerful, amazing, and bossy brain with me today. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.